Hello guys. In this opportunity, I want to sharing about what I know and what I learned from psychology, and this could be more benefit if you doesn't know. So today I'm gonna talk about how to turn your quarter life crisis into a quarter life catalyst. Okay, so for the primary informations, uh, we already know that people who turn into their 20s is always suffered with changes. I mean, a lot of changes, including the social change, family, the relationship with their friends, schools, and maybe their professions or their works. So, how we detach it from our feelings? We always feel that maybe we are not having some uh, courage to achieve what we want to know. We doesn't have enough curiosity to pursue our dreams, and that's life is called quarter life crisis. So basically, quarter life crisis is like feeling that we know and we have in our 20s. So it's like common that maybe all of the teenagers who turn to their 20s is experience quarter life crisis. So how can we handle it from the perspective of psychology? I'm not psychology expert or geek, but I know how to view the perspective from the general perspective. Okay, uh, you can see the words that I've already present. I've not read all of the words, but I'm just gonna make a summary for the rest of the words or maybe the presentations. So, okay, uh, yeah, quarter life crisis is a phase. All of us is experience that thing. It is not near end, it is not like apocalypse. Well, maybe some old people or maybe our parents tell us that we need to be a successful person in our young age. But in reality, are we truly made successful situations in our 20s? So that thing should make us what in the future. Okay, first thing first, how to handle your like quarter crisis is you have to know yourself. You have to know your problem. You have to deal with all of your feelings. If you feeling sad or maybe you feeling anxiety, you feel angry all the time, just let it go. You don't have to fight it back. You don't have to worry about the feelings that maybe it consumes you from the inside. It is just nature. You cannot block it. It is stimulate in our brain and we cannot stop it. It's like a nature, like we are in a river. You cannot stop the flow, but you can follow the flow. The flow will join you and will make you to the riverbank or maybe to your destinations. So I think no matter how hard is our feeling in our 20s, you don't have to worry. I underline that meaning. I really mean it. You don't have to worry about it. Maybe For example, all of you is have an anxious in college. You are afraid you cannot graduate in time. You are cannot have a good grades, so that affects you in job seeking. Well, some of them was a true and it's valid until now, but not the success story is always come with the graduate person. Maybe they are going to college, but the experience how to manage themselves is created in society. Well, they are forging their mental, they are working sleepless nights, endlessly days, just to make them successful, not in the college. You've already seen it. I'm not mentioning many person like Bill Gates for everything. So you don't have to worry about the sad feelings drives you away and it makes you going crazy and you cannot do nothing because you feel anxious. So I think that's the first. The second one is could you be having a quarter life crisis? So I think the phase that you need to recognize that you are having the quarter life crisis is because you are expected too much. You have higher expectations. Maybe you are imagining you are having married before you turn 25. You are can buy the house before you turn 30s. You have a sport car before you turn like 27. So you have this all of this thing in your mind, and you are trying to figure out a way how to pursue your dreams. So I think the expectation is make you even crazier. So I think that's not healthy minds, in general, because you are suffering yourself from expectations. And if you expect happiness from your expectation, um, you will just feel so much desperate in the future because expectation is never ends. It's endlessly hope, and you will not be satisfied from that expectation. So you need to stop expect happiness from the outside of you. You you're not expecting happiness from your friend, from your girlfriend, from your teacher, or from the whole world people that maybe appraise for your behavior. So happiness is come from inside of us. Happiness is the thing that we created it, so you don't force it. For example, I feel happy when I make myself think positive. So I'm not dependent by many persons. My happiness is not on options when I have the money, when I have a freedom, when I have free time. My happiness is when I let it go, when I feel that I'm able to do something and I'm becoming handy to another persons, so I can be more helpful for another persons. That's that's when I become a happy person, you know. And always think that happiness from the expectations will make you suffer a lot because you know that if you expect happiness from expectation, you will so much desperate, and you don't have to question in your life when you are feeling desperate or down because everything is just going on the track. It is just matter of time and matter of the materials. So everything is uh, settled if you have the target, if you have planned every little things. So that's the second. The third is uh, you have to try the new things. You have to take a risk. The quarter life crisis is happening because we are live, we are trying to, uh, we are not able to get out from our comfort zone. Well, we live in our parent home since we born, and since we are graduate from college, already from high school, we have to find a job and maybe find our settlements like money, home, like house, and maybe vehicles, or maybe find our couples, just to share our burdens. So that's the common, that's nature, that's a human nature. But if you doesn't try to pursue one of them, you just feel like you are like a big baby in the society. Maybe your age is going older and older, but your mindset will not become mature because you are not trying to get out from your comfort zone. So the third is you have to try the new things. My example is I always try to do different things when I apply jobs. I feel that when I apply jobs, oh, this is not effective. Um, Applying from the email, I'm work many CVs, and the interview just very few. So I feel that uh, the way that I apply the job is not effective. So I apply in different ways. So I deliver the hard copy from my resume and my hard copy from my diploma certificates to the places, the workplace. So instead, uh, many methods will running out, and I running out from options. I always try the new things. The new things is make you things. It makes you innovate the way you think. It forces you to solve the problems. But if you doesn't not try the new things, your problem solving will not become revolutionary, and your time will be wasted more. So trying new things is a must. It's an obligation. You don't have any options unless you are going to live in your parents' home until you turn your 40, maybe your 50. But I'm not going to do that because I want to live like a normal person. Maybe I have a plan when I'm turning 26. I have to propose uh, the girl that I like. Maybe got a settlement jobs and create a families because that's a normal person to do. After that, I can focus to my long-term goals to becoming a successful person in educations, or maybe in economics education, because that's my passion, until now. So how can I approve it, or how can I pursue my dreams? Just like I say, trying to be helpful for another person, trying to be polite to another person, trying to solve a big problem because big problem is need big solutions. And I was trying to take a risk. Every day I always risking my values. For example, yesterday I feel shy to call my friend, ask people whether they have a job for me or not, or maybe uh, they are having some good news from my high school friends. Yeah. I don't have to shy when I have to call them. So the thing is, every day is different, and you have the same exact times, like 24 hours. So it could be more wasted time if you doesn't, take advantage from everything that you earn. So you have to take a risk. And then the fourth is sense of growth and resolutions. Well, maybe it's like a classic. want, self-growth and resolutions because maybe some of people doesn't have specific resolutions in every time, but mine have a resolutions, every time I learn from mistakes, I always define my new resolutions. Like every year must be a different achievement, and I always have a sense of growth. What is sense of growth? Sense of growth is the intentions to becoming a better person. Like I have to wake up in my 6 a.m. whether it is a rain day, it's a cloudy day, or maybe it's getting a storm day. But I don't care about it. I must get wake up early in the morning because I know that many opportunities come early. I always know it in my mind. So solutions is the complicated ways in the sense of growth because you know that resolution is the things that make us more encouraged to pursue our dreams. So you have micro solutions and you have to a bigger, you have to a bigger person, you have to make yourself like an impact to your society. And I hope that's a positive impact, not a negative one. So yeah, and then you have to breaking out. You have to you have to breaking out with people who are not supporting you. Stop making a relationship with people who doesn't support you. It is just a wasting of time. I've already said it in front of my friends, but they don't believe me. So that's the reason why you should breaking up with people who doesn't support you. The first one is you doesn't have much time in your 20s, like year by year is determine your success before you turn 30s or 40s. You only have a few times before you turn 30s, but you only have like one or two, maybe three circle in your society. So you have to choose the right person in the right time. So you have to take a choice and take a risk. For example, I have a friends and I knew that the friends doesn't support my ideas. So I'm just uh, have a chit chat with him or maybe her. You don't support my ideas, so I'm gonna ask uh, mine others. So you don't have to worry about it because I can take or handle myself on my business. So yeah, that's a fourth resolution, or I mean fourth ways to detach the quarter life crisis. And that's a fact that uh, 31% the response is saying being in a wrong relationship or a relationship lacking environment can causes crisis. Everyone it should be in their ways to loving each others. They are care about each other. Maybe they are having some affairs, maybe in their work, maybe in their school, college, and everything. But there should be situations that maybe it is not advantage him or her in the relationship. Maybe they are just friend of benefits or something like everything's in common concern. So I think this is like the example of toxic relationships. So how can you detach from the toxic relationships? So you have to through it. You have to through it. Uh, if he doesn't through the toxic relationships from friendship or maybe from love, you will not having an experience how to avoid that. So in my opinion, you have to go through it. Maybe at the first or twice or maybe third times, you will feel broken heart or will suffer from not good feelings. When you are having a relationship with the people who doesn't admire or maybe respects you or maybe doesn't support your ideas. But yeah, but that's life. That's life must go on and you have to deal with it. So I think many people can going through it, you know. So the toxic relationship is common reasons why you should feel in your 20s so you can handle or maybe you can prevent the damage of your quarter life crisis. So, and then as data will just uh, say that there are 40% of millennials in crisis blame this on their current living situations that could be renting or living with parents. That should be in human nature. In our 20s, we are teenager who just like transforming into the mature one or different ones. So I think that's a common, you know, maybe in our 20s, some of the teenager still will live with their parents, or maybe they are just live separately with their parents because they already get a job and they can have a shelter like home or apartments. But the thing is, uh, whether you are still living with your parents or not, you have to maintain the relationship between your parents because your parents is uh, the people or the person who gave birth to you. So whether you like it or not, you have to respect it or you have to obey it. So the question is, what if they doesn't support my long-term goal? Well, you have to you have to explain the detail. You have to convince them the benefit and the lacking of your long-term goals. So you have like you are the stockbrokers, you are the manager of investments. So manager of investment like you wants to be like rich person, you have to make a good investor. A good investor is coming from our family. They are put the faith, they are believe in us. So since they believe in us, they are not providing goods and service, they are already providing everything that we need in the future. So you need to convince your family, especially your parents, because you need in the future. You have to make sure that they need to watch your success situation in the future. So it could be your worst situation or best situations if you're good in handling the situation because in the reality some of the teenagers is explode or maybe they are getting mad when they are talking with their parents because discussing the long-term goal or maybe the futures about schools or maybe get job. But that's the nature, you know, that's the phase. I think both sides can make a mistake, so I'm not blaming one of sides, the parents and the child. You know, I'm not blaming any of side. Both sides can make a mistake, so I suggest parents can be more compromised with their obsessions. You know, when they're trying to make their child becoming like them, like the success person, and the child should be more respect and obey the parents order because you know respect it when you respect the order you are blessed from their prayers. So I think that that's the idea of detaching the detaching the quarter life crisis. So there's some ideas to help you to try new things. There's 7 ideas in the slides. The first one is brainstorm a list of things to try out. So brainstorm is the methods that make sure you are have an idea. For example, uh, I want to becoming successful economist. Economist, yeah, economist. Uh, the the step that I do every day is research something. I discover the new things, and I have to uh, testing in my economics approaches or my field of study. You know, through the papers. I'm read all the papers, and I wrote down my journals, and I published my works into uh, the journal communities, or maybe I'm writing a book, and the book that I wrote is read it by many people, so I'm inspiring many people with through my minds, you know. So brainstorm is like you are good enough to uh, make people understand your ideas. So you could make a list from the simple things to the complicated things, you know, just to try out some new things, you know, if you have to discover your long-term goals. Okay, so that's the one, and two is explore what you might have lost from your past. Yeah, that's the thing that I always do in my daily days. Um, Maybe every day you are making mistakes. Maybe you got sick, or maybe you are having family time, so you cannot catch up with your goals, you know, every day. But the thing is, you can always pursue uh, your your mistakes in yesterday. You know? So you have to cover up. For example, uh, this week I want to complete it, my journals. I have to write down like at least 50 pages of my journals, and I have to complete the proofreading. So I have to make sure that my journal is going to be accepted in the end of the month. You know, because this is a final month, like 4 weeks in the month. You know, but I've already have an accident, you know, in the middle of the weeks, because of that, I already lost 1 days, like Thursday, you know. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sacrificing my weekends, you know, like Sunday or Saturday, just to make sure that I can complete the job and I can get what I wanted. As simple as that. So always remember that you are not going to lose everything if you manage the time properly. Okay, and then the third is about quarter life crisis and emerging adulthood. So yeah, we always want to know that is there any good reads or good books or maybe good article about how to maintaining the quarter life crisis. You know, we want to know what make us like this. You know, and there's a bunch of books or maybe article in the internet. You can find everything on the internet, like free of that. That's a free stuff. You can search it, you can Google it. And the more you read the article or the books, it makes your life, I mean, it makes your minds more have an incitement. So you are discover so many things. The thing is that people are so hard or so bad at read the books, you know, especially the international, because the literacy of the educations is not that high if we compare with our neighbor countries like Malaysia or Singapore. So that's becoming a brand new issues. Like today, we are not gonna solve it until uh, we are encouraged to read the books that maybe we can find or we have an interest, you know. So people is not having or maybe a lack of reading some books, and especially in psychology concept or psychology field of study, they are feeling insecure because when they are facing problem, they are not feeling good about. Oh man, I don't have so confident because I'm not know everything about water crisis. How can I tell my conditions to the psychologist or maybe to my friends who understand the psychology. You know, that's happened a lot of time, so you don't have to worry about it. As long as you read or you upgrading uh, your understandings about the quarter crisis. But at least if he doesn't like to read the books or maybe the article, you always have the different ways. You can watch the podcast in YouTube. You can create, I mean, you can create a discussions method with your friends. Maybe you can do it at all of times. Uh, so you can correct it each others if you can have a mistakes. So, but the core things is you have to read. The reading is gonna be compromised. For many who love science, the readings is a must. So I'm not gonna explain it fancy because you're reading just a reading. It's not going to become a substitute ways like everything or something. And then speak to others about your problems. Yeah, I think that's the fastest way to recover from your quarter life crisis or not good feelings about how to deal with the quarter life crisis, because if we just keep overthinking about our lives, maybe it just make ourselves become more stressed and depressed. So the fastest way is to explore our emotions to the others. Maybe you can tell your girlfriend, you can tell your boyfriend, you can tell your cousins, you can tell your nephews. Everyone should be involved in your problems. What if they are not enabled to make a suggestions or maybe some advice? Well, that's okay. That's a never mind, because uh, like the most of people who just having some problem in their life, like their issues, maybe in quarter life, they just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. They are not they are not need to suggestions or advice. Just to be heard. And everything should be an okay if they are finishing telling their story. Maybe they are feeling good about everything. And yeah, that's the four. Okay, and the five is getting get a proper financial advice if you're experiencing money worries. Okay, so the financial anxiety is commonly happen in many people who turn 25 or 26 above, because they are have emotions, they have admire it, I mean, they have decided to live on their own, because they are finished with their college like 4 years ago, and they must be settled. But in the reality, not of our employees is just getting their settlement in there before they got 30s. Maybe 40s is like not the quality they are got settlements. But every ages, I'm not mentioning just the quarter life, quarter ages, having a financial issues or problems, because financial or issue problem is depend on our needs. For example, I'm not married yet, so my financial problem is how can I always maintaining my hobbies expenditure in every month. So that's my financial issue. Maybe of my friends, they just got married like 1 year ago and they are planning to give birth a child. Maybe the problem is how to make sure that the baby can have wonderful lives so they can fulfill their baby needs. Or maybe the problem of their 40 or 50 is how can they make a legacy for their child or maybe the grandchild, because they know that their life cannot be no longer. So the financial advice, I mean, financial problem is whole different situations, and I'm kind of define it in quarter life because it depends on our needs and our prioritizing methods. And the sixth is try volunteering. So volunteering is the way that you can express your feelings, maybe, so you don't have to shy about involving yourself into the community, into the society. It is just not in companies, so you can involving yourself in community and student council, maybe if you have a college, or maybe you can have community in your hobbies like aerobics community or some things. So when you are volunteering yourself, you are reducing your burdens because you are not alone. You have friends that have the same age with you. So the suggestion is uh, you find another person who just can understand your problems. And then the seventh is start small before making any big decisions. So yeah, as I already mentioned before, uh, many teenagers should be have a concern when they have a long-term goals. Um, you're going to have a plan before you have a big decisions. For example, if you're going to be a doctor, so the plan is you have to be like top 10 in your class when you are in high schools, and then you have experience with solving the high order thinking exercises, and then you have many achievement in academics. So, and then you can enter the college medicine or maybe the best university which have the faculty of medicine or pharmacy, I guess. And after that, that's the simple things, making a decision for school. It is just simple things. The most important things that determines you're successful is how can you be, what can you be in the society? What is your role in the society? Most of people cannot place their rights. Most people cannot rights when they are in the society. Maybe the smartest one cannot be the leader in the society because they are not having enough confidence. But the ordinary one who just doesn't have any achievement, they are sometimes be a leader in the society because they know need some uh, they need some admitations. They just want to be admitted. So I think uh, you have to make a small step before you making any big decisions because there is no there is no big steps from another big steps. Big steps is always begin with the small steps. So yeah, that's the seven ways to detach from the quarter life crisis. And I hope you agree about the point that I've already made in the slides. I think, yeah, there should be a concern to all of you because uh, we know that in our quarter life, it should be more faithful conditions to pursue our dreams. I'm not saying that if our quarter life is not having make any progressions, so we are depressed in entire life that we going to through it in the world. I'm not saying that because your age doesn't determine your success, but sometimes people is act like their age exactly like their age. For example, the people who just got born, they cannot speak, they cannot write everything. They are 100% depend on their parents. They cannot eat by their own, they cannot drink, they cannot make a poop on their own. So they are depending on our house. But the person who just got into their 25, 26, 27, they are live in their own, if they are still live with their parents without any intentions to get a job, to get a schools, to make a helpful person in the society, well, maybe people would call you a parasite. Uh, I think that's the facts that happen in our society. Maybe in the East countries like Indonesia, because our success is determined by our settlements. Uh, the salary is not important because not our people understand about specific jobs like consultants or everything, but what they understand is a people who is unable to get a own their own house, they already get a pretty wife, they've already get a successful child. I think that's a indicator for good persons. So I think yeah, that's the lecture in tonight's in the evening, I guess. So yeah, we will meet in the next meetings.